Are MMO gaming companies training us to play by ourselves? This is the question I had running through my mind being a former WoW player for almost 16 years. Playing Lost Ark right now, there isn't any reason to play with other people outside of raids really. Regular dungeons, chaos dungeons, guardian raids, leveling, gathering, sailing, island hopping, you can do everything by yourselves with absolutely no issues. In so many MMOs that I've tried, I see that the genre is transforming into a single player experience with other people roaming around. Has this been destructive towards the average gamer's mindset? I have just about 62 hours in Lost Ark at the moment. I do like the game because I'm a fan of Path of Exile and Diablo. There is so much content, and some of which I never experienced in my MMO career, like the naval system. The more I did content, the more I started to understand how isolated I felt. I'm also in a very big guild too. Even being in Discord, only a few of us actually played Lost Ark together because most of us just tended to themselves. The game didn't provide us a reason to group up with other people. Looking back on WoW, there wasn't a reason there either to group up with others unless you wanted to raid, do Mythic Plus dungeons, or PvP. Do players really want a single player questing experience? No elite quest you must find other players to complete? Maybe people only want a challenge when it's at endgame. Doesn't that make the introduction of most MMOs feel so boring and a little lifeless? Only relying on the story of the game to keep you entertained? I want to reflect on my past MMO experience and why I was so mystified back then. Going back and remembering my N64 days, playing multiplayer games with your friends was always more fun than playing by yourself. Super Smash Bros., GoldenEye, Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat were all games that I very much enjoyed my friends' company. Now, heading into 2006, WoW's leveling experience was great because the world itself was dangerous for players back then. Pulling more than 2 mobs for certain classes was certain death. Group quests like Hogger or the Elite Yeti quest in Terran Mill kept you looking for players to help you, and vice versa. Building relationships was very important back then. That Elite Yeti quest is what introduced me to my PvP guild way back in the day on Altar of Storms. Has that been lost in today's MMOs? What do you remember from your first MMO experience? Was there a group finder when you started playing, or did you have to find random players on your server to complete a dungeon? I feel that's a great starting point for this discussion because people who started before group finder have different wants and desires for their MMO experience compared to those who started after. I started back in vanilla WoW 3 months before Burning Crusade, and in your questing experience, your dungeon experience, finding an engineer on your server to buy arrows or bullets, you needed people. As the Warcraft experience went on, more and more quality of life changes happened. The game slowly transformed into a single player experience. LFG and LFR completely ruined the group player experience in my opinion. This didn't just happen in World of Warcraft. Final Fantasy XIV, Guild Wars 2, Lost Ark, ESO, Star Wars: The Old Republic, you get the point. I understand maybe why the devs did what they did back then. There wasn't Discord in 2012 or many ways to find communities that you can join. This isn't the case in 2022. There are plenty of ways to find people, guilds, and gaming communities, so why do these systems still remain in the game? At the end of the day, it's all about convenience. It's very convenient to come home from work, pop on your favorite MMO, do your daily dungeon or raid solo or using the LFG LFR tool, complete your daily or weekly quest in like 10 minutes, then log off and go spend time with your family. Who wants to play MMOs all day, am I right? Because of this convenience, gaming companies continue to cultivate a very easy, very soloable questing experience where you never need anyone to help you. Dungeons and raids you can queue solo or with NPC drones in most MMOs. Professions that are easily levelable, and usually you can do all the professions with no problem. So why do you need people? What should MMORPGs be called at this point? The multiplayer element feels so empty in 2022. This is where Ashes of Creation is going to completely correct this issue. Ashes of Creation has a lot of interconnected systems that often rely on other people, whether it be strangers, guildies, or just your real-life friends. Professions is a huge one because you can only master one profession out of the 18 that are currently present. Auction houses are going to be region-based and not world-based. Because of the PvX dynamic, caravan runs should not be run by yourself. Bandits or other guilds on your server could kill you and take your caravan materials. Just to be clear, this game will not have an LFG or LFR system. Guild leaders will have a guild talent tree to give certain buffs and utility to their members, so being a guild is going to be very beneficial compared to other MMOs. There is going to be guild content to do as well. Naval, caravans, raids, world bosses, dungeons, maybe questing, guild wars, node sieges, castle sieges are all content that can be done with other people in your guild. Could you do some of these systems by yourself? Yes, but not effectively like the way you can probably in other MMOs. You will need friends in Ashes to do multiple chunks of content. When I look back at my career of gaming in WoW, the raids themselves weren't the reason I remember them as fondly as I do. It was the people I did them with that really made it memorable. Raiding is still a thing even now, but I feel like the experience is more isolating than the way it was before. Maybe that's my boomer take on the current day MMO, but I feel like I'm not alone in thinking this way. What used to be group content is now just a solo convenient experience for the casual player. Look, I'm all for convenience, but at what cost towards the overall MMO experience? This is why I look towards Ashes of Creation, the game, at least on paper so far, that will give you a completely different MMO experience than what's currently offered in today's MMOs. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt alone in a current day MMO with all these people running around you? Was there never a reason to ask for help because the quest or dungeon was just easier to do by yourself? I would love to know your stories about your current MMO experience and if you like the design or not. I really enjoyed making this video and getting this off my chest. As a passionate MMO gamer, I want the genre to grow and get better. If you like this video, then hit the like button. It does wonders for my small MMO channel. Subscribe to my content if you want to stay up to date with Ashes of Creation. Follow me on social media. My name is Vlhadus, and I will see you in the next one.